Hello everybody, I'm Ali. Welcome to my channel, Bald as a Coot. You may ask, so what is this channel about? It actually has two main themes. One of them gonna be quantum computing, the other one gonna be the life as a PhD student. To explain the first theme, the quantum computing part, let me tell you more about myself. I'm a PhD student in physics, hopefully in final years, fingers crossed. And the field that I'm working on is condensed matter. It's just like many other PhD students, when you get close to your final years of the PhD, you start to concern about what will be the life after the PhD. You're thinking about what kind of jobs you can get, and that was like my motivation to get into quantum computing, because I got familiar with the field and I found it interesting because this is also a field that you can study entanglement in the quantum systems. But there is a problem. When I was looking for those jobs, I noticed that even though like studying physics helped me to have some of the essentials backgrounds, like quantum mechanics, linear algebra, being familiar with like a programming using Python, but there are still a number of skills that I'm lacking, and they seem to be necessary. For example, quantum information, being familiar with software development kits that are available for quantum computing, for example, Qiskit. And I decided that I'm gonna actually sharpen those skill sets. To do that, I first started with summer school from IBM. So last summer of 2022, I participated in Qiskit Summer School by IBM. In that summer school, they reminded us that if you're interested in the field, there's always gonna be a job for you. But you know, as a PhD student that on daily basis bathe in imposter syndrome, it's hard for me to believe that I'm good enough to get those kind of jobs just by the knowledge from the PhD. It's not to put the PhD knowledge down, because you learn a lot during the PhD, and one of the main skills that you learn during the PhD is being independent in studying new subjects and learn the new subjects faster than you used to before the PhD. I mentioned that this is a growing field, right? And when I started my PhD, we did not have any quantum computing or quantum information research group in our department, and now we have one. And as it goes, there is going to be more number of the research groups that are specifically doing research in this field. There's going to be more graduate students that coming out doing the research in this field, and it makes it harder to compete with those people. So, long story short, I made a plan to gain the skills and the knowledge that is required for getting a job in quantum computing, or be a better candidate for jobs in this field. So you may ask me, what is the plan? The plan starts with becoming more fluent in the language of the quantum computing. It helps me to, first of all, being able to perform better in interviews in future, hopefully. And it also helps me to be able to study literature that is coming out in this field and be more up to date in the field. So how to become fluent in the language of the quantum computing? There are several ways to do it. I think my approach would be to become familiar with one of those SDKs or software development kits. And in my case, I plan to learn Qiskit. So why Qiskit? There's no specific reason. You can actually choose other development kits. The reason that I'm choosing the Qiskit is that IBM made a lot of investment to make educational materials for Qiskit, which definitely give IBM advantages because the language grows faster. But at the same time make it easier for somebody like you and I who is just starting and want to do the self-study in this field. One other reason that I chose Qiskit is that it's not only about like a self-studying, you also need or want to be able to have an evidence that you were working, you're putting the effort. And the good thing about the Qiskit is that it has a lot of check marks and achievements or certificates that you can obtain during the way that shows that you've been putting the effort. So the next question would be that like learning the Qiskit specifically, does it limit you in the jobs that you can obtain? Does it mean that you cannot get a job in other language? I would say that you should remember that the logic behind all of these like programming development kits, they should be the same, you know, because the quantum information processes, the algorithm is the same. So the only thing that would change would be the syntax. And if you know one language and you be familiar with the logical thinking behind that, it would be easier for you to adopt to a new language faster. And you can, if it comes to other jobs, you can prepare for them much easier if you knowing one of those packages. So what's the plan? I mentioned that I started with the summer school. I wanted to get a feeling about the field. The next step for me is to study for Qiskit Qiskit developer certificate, which is like achievement that shows that you are familiar with the package and you are familiar with the basic processes or basic quantum computing processes. The next thing would be to become like a Qiskit advocate. So hopefully in less than a year from now, I'll be at your home, at your door knocking and asking you if you heard about our Quantum Lord and Savior IBM. Jokes aside, and I'm pretty much sure that IBM is not gonna appreciate that joke. The reason I like to become a Qiskit advocate is that it gives me an opportunity to become more involved in the community, get more experiences, and then after that it's easier for me to get internships and hopefully a job after that. And this is gonna be a journey, and what I'm gonna do in this channel is to document that journey, to see if it was a good idea to do it the way that I did it or not. And in the way, I also plan to make more tutorials because I noticed that even though many of the tutorials by IBM are good, but there's still a gap, specifically if you just start working with Qiskit, to grasp and understand how the package works. And I'm also gonna go more in details about the science behind the story too, and hope you can start your journey too, and maybe you can actually document your way because you have a different background from me. But this is like half of the channel. The other half is PhD and how's the PhD life. I don't know if you noticed or not, but before getting a PhD, whenever there was like a villain in a movie and the movie said that, oh, the villain has a PhD, it always meant for you that, oh, that should be a really smart villain, you know? But now, these days, if you have a PhD or you're doing your PhD, whenever there's a movie that the villain in it has a PhD, all you can think about is that, oh God, man, those PhD days got him. Finally lost it. You know what? I think I knew him. I think Lex and I started losing hair about the same time. Huh. Okay, I digress. Yeah, PhD life, it has a lot of ups and downs. And we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna tell you about my experience, what I learned, and we're gonna talk about that here too. We're gonna talk about the mistakes that I did, and hopefully you can share the mistakes that you did. Big decisions like academia versus industry, tough days about the research, and again, ups and downs. And this is gonna be a journey, and hope you can join me. See you later.